From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Canada wants to collaborate further on clean energy and start new projects in the Indo-Pacific region. Ottawa has concluded negotiations on a trade deal with Indonesia and is proposing nuclear energy collaboration with Southeast Asian leaders. The details were ironed out earlier on Friday in Lima, Peru, at the APEC summit, ahead of what some say will be a rocky return of Donald Trump's White House. Operations are set to resume at the Port of Montreal as of 7 o'clock this morning following a lockout of longshore workers. Management there says it'll take several weeks to fully re-establish the import and export supply chain flow following the disruption, which started last Sunday. That's when the Maritime Employers Association locked out close to 1,200 longshore workers after its latest contract offer was rejected. The Canada Industrial Relations Board ordered the restart of operations as well as negotiations to be moved to binding arbitration. WestJet passengers who paid fees for their first checked bag on domestic and international flights between 2014 and 2019 may be eligible for a portion of a $12.5 million class action settlement. To claim their share, affected travelers worldwide have until February 10th of next year to submit a claim through EvoLink Law Group. The settlement will be distributed in the form of WestJet travel credits, not cash. The Calgary-based airline has since dropped the troublemaking free checked bag wording that was in its domestic tariff. The nomination of former U.S. Congressman Matt Gaetz as Attorney General has not received the kind of interest President-elect Donald Trump was expecting. Gaetz was being investigated for sexual misconduct by his congressional colleagues. Reporter Mary Bruce says the top Republican in the House has opinions on the matter.
House Speaker Mike Johnson was non-committal on whether the committee's report should be released.
The Speaker of the House is not involved in that, can't be involved in that.
After attending a gala with the president-elect at Mar-a-Lago,
I believe it is very important to maintain the House's tradition of not issuing ethics reports on people who are no longer members of Congress.
Over to the Senate, several Republicans who will have to vote on whether to confirm Gaetz or not say they want to see the report. And finally, the turkey population in New York State has grown significantly, so a turkey hunt has been officially granted out on eastern Long Island this weekend. But not everyone is happy to hear about it. John D. Leonardo is with the animal advocacy organization Humane Long Island. He says the birds were virtually extinct in the region.
And it wasn't until the 90s that the DEC actually brought some of the survivors from upstate New York to Long Island to try to repopulate them.
He adds that the birds serve an ecological purpose by eating deer ticks, which cause Lyme disease. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Jake Paul won a unanimous decision over Mike Tyson as the hits didn't match the hype in a fight between a brash young YouTuber turned boxer and the 58-year-old former heavyweight champion. Now, the fight wasn't close on the judges' cards, one giving Paul an 80-72 edge while the other two calling it 79-73. In the NHL, the Calgary Flames blanked the Nashville Predators 2-0. Meanwhile, Columbus, Washington, Vegas, and Anaheim all posted wins as well. In the NBA, the Detroit Pistons held off the Toronto Raptors 99-95. The Raps have now lost their sixth straight contest. Rory McIlroy is a great bet to win the year-long Race to Dubai title. He needs just a top 10 finish at the World Tour Championship to be crowned the European Tour's best player. Right now, he's sitting one shot behind Antoine Rosner at the tournament's midway point. And the Toronto Argonauts and Winnipeg Blue Bombers are continuing to gear up for Sunday's Grey Cup, with the Bombers favored to win by about 9 points. From the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.